Today I'm going to show you a series of stretches that I put together to help my clients prepare for Pilates. So we use these stretches at the beginning of class to warm up before we get on the equipment and get into postures that might demand a little bit more flexibility. But I also encourage my clients to perform these stretches at home. You can do them daily, and they're really, really great for opening up the hips, the legs, and the low back. So the areas surrounding your powerhouse, which will help get you ready for your Pilates exercises, your strengthening exercises, as well as help relieve any back pain if you're a back pain sufferer. So the first part of this series is going to be done with a strap, and I've got a yoga stretching strap, but you don't need to have this necessarily. You probably have something lying around the house. You just want something that doesn't have a lot of give. So you can use a tie or a towel or a belt or a dog leash, something that's firm and preferably not sport tubing or TheraBand. That would not be the best choice. So we're going to start laying down. To get there safely, we'll bring the hands behind the thighs, relax the shoulders, squeeze the knees together. You're going to inhale to begin rolling back bone by bone, finishing with your exhalation, coming all the way down. So I'm going to just do one side of stretches. Of course, you would repeat both, and I'm going to go through all of the stretches on one side. So I'm going to start on my left foot. I'm going to bring the strap around the ball of the foot and lengthen the leg towards the ceiling. So you have some options here. I really want you to get the leg straight. So even if that means you have to lower it, if you've got tightness through the hamstrings, I want the leg straight because the hamstring crosses two joints. If you have the knee bent, you're putting part of your hamstring on slack, and we want to get the whole thing. So you'll lift the leg up. If this is kind of easy peasy for you, go ahead and straighten out this leg. If straightening this leg causes some discomfort in your back, if you feel tension or pain, bring it back up. It's okay, you'll still get the same stretch. If you're nice and long through both legs and it's still fairly easy, give yourself a nice pull and challenge yourself to see if you can be in your neutral. So see if you can keep a hand underneath your back here, if you can slide a hand, and also draw the belly in. So we're going to take a strap in each hand and just pull the leg up until you find a comfortable stretch, and you're going to hold and breathe. So in an ideal world, you'd stay here for 30 seconds. I may not do that for this video. It's actually kind of late. It's getting close to my bedtime, so I'm going to do this somewhat quicker than you will if you're performing at home. Then you're going to take those straps into your hand opposite of the leg that you're stretching. So since I'm on my left leg, both straps come into my right hand, and I'm going to pull the leg across my body. It's okay for this left hip to roll up off of the mat. My hip is lifting here. What I'm looking for is a stretch somewhere down the outside of this chain, of this lower extremity. So I get it up in my tush. You might get it down through your TFL and IT band, down the thigh. You might get it in the side of your calf, your lateral calf. It might even come into your ankle. If you need more stretch with this, you can also pull the leg slightly towards the head. That will deepen your stretch. I should say this early on, you never want to stretch to the point of pain. Nothing should be painful. You never want to feel a sharp pain, but it might be intense, and that's okay. We also don't want to bounce our stretches. Once you find your stretch, just hold it and breathe into it. Okay, so with a nice tight tummy on an inhalation, breathing in, I'm going to lift the leg up, and I'm going to lift it as if my belly is lifting the leg. So we draw on the core. Okay, so I switch hands. We're coming into the left hand. I'm going to keep this right hip anchored and open into a straddle stretch. So this is hard. Your hip is going to want to try to roll up. You're going to really draw down deeply. You're going to stabilize here with that transverse abdominis, draw nice and deep. Sometimes it's helpful to bring a hand onto the front of the hip to remind you or even to help you. Otherwise, you can let the arm relax at your side. Just like the last stretch coming across the body, if you pull gently towards the head, you'll get a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Good. So while you're here, tummy is tight. You're reaching long through this bottom leg. If you're able to, if you need to, you can bend that knee and plant the foot. And you're drawing the chin down in towards the chest so the back of the neck is long. If you find that you're in a posture where the chin is really trying to lift on you, then go ahead and place a small cushion underneath your head. Get a small pillow so that your neck can be in line with your spine. Okay, tight belly. Again, with the inhale, you're going to draw the leg up. That was our side straddle stretch. Now we want to get a calf stretch. So making sure you're definitely on the ball of the foot. You're going to pull the toes back towards you. And we really want to emphasize the calf here. So if your hamstring is screaming at you and it's getting in the way, go ahead and lower the leg down. That's fine. I want this to be in the calf. It's okay to feel this in the hamstring as well. It's okay if it's down the entire back of the leg. Just make sure you're getting the calf. So right now I have the knee straight. With the knee straight, we're going to get the more superficial calf muscle, your gastroc. And then if we keep pulling down on the ball of the foot but put a small bend in the knee, then we get deeper. We get into a deeper compartment in the calf, into the soleus muscle. That's your muscle that does a lot of work if you're a walker. It's got a lot of slow twitch fibers, so if you're a walker, then this is a good one for you to incorporate. Okay, this next one is tricky for some people. We're going to simulate a squat, a one-sided supine lying on your back squat. You're going to bend the knee big, and you're going to take it out. So mine's coming out towards my left elbow. It's way past my shoulder. People get this stretch in different places. You might get it in the groin or inner thigh. It might be into the hamstring. It might be into the outer hip and up into the glutes. It's going to depend where you're tightest. It's very normal with stretches for, if you feel a stretch in one area, as that part opens, it may change and you may start to feel it in another area. Maybe not within one stretch, maybe that's over weeks, but that's a normal progression. So you're going to feel this wherever you're first tightest. Good. Okay, we're going to relax and release. So you would then take this and do all of them on the other side. Again, I'm just going to demonstrate one side. But I would take this to the right foot and repeat hamstring across the body, straddle stretch, come up into 2 calf stretches with the knee straight, knee bend, and then our wide squat. After that, I'm going to come into the figure 4 stretch. So I'm going to cross my right ankle on top of my left thigh and make what I call figure 4. So there's 3 levels to this stretch. You can take your hands and gently press. I'm above my knee. I never want to press right through the joint. You can press the leg open away from you. You're looking for a stretch into that right tush hip area, into your piriformis muscle. So maybe you get it, maybe you don't. If you would like to try a little bit deeper, you're going to take that knee and you're going to pull it across to your opposite shoulder. So I start to feel it a little bit here. If this is excruciating and this is a really big stretch, then just stay here at level 2. If you feel like you can do more, you're going to release the right leg altogether. You're going to pick up your left leg. You're going to come through the space here. So like you're threading a needle, you're going to come around the left thigh and you're going to hug it in towards your chest. As you do that, you don't want this right knee collapsing in. You want the knee pressing open and away from you as you draw the left leg in. And most people get a pretty good stretch with this. This is usually a big area of tension. Good. Okay, so you would hold this for 30 seconds. And you're going to lower down, place the feet down. We're going to roll up to a seated position and do a few seated stretches. So you can roll straight and forward. If that's difficult for you, you can turn to the side and push up as well. I'm going to roll up, inhaling chin to chest. You're going to exhale, pull up, using your arms as little as possible, coming nice and tall. Okay, so we're going to come into our seated stretches. I'm going to stay with this left leg in front. And I'm in a tight space here. If you're on the floor, you'd have a lot more room. Maybe I'll come on an angle. Okay. Anyway, you're just going to sit cross-legged, Indian style, and you're going to fold forward. So again, we'll just come sideways instead of facing you. So you're going to fold forward. And with this, I'm not too worried if your hips roll up. It's okay if your sit bones lift a little bit. So this is a stretch for your glutes. But you might feel it in your low back if you have tightness in your low back. So either place or both places is perfectly normal. You're going to keep the tummy nice and tight. And then with a full breath, you're just going to roll up nice and tall and slowly stack your spine, lifting up until you have really beautiful posture. I'm going to turn back to you now. So from your cross-legged position, we'll take this front leg and we're going to open it to the side. It may be narrow, that's fine, you're not forcing it, you just take it to where you can. I want you to try to rotate that knee and the toes up and keep your sit bones down. From here, with a really long spine, you're going to walk yourself forward until you feel a stretch. So I'm going to give myself more space. If you're in a good position, then you likely won't have to go too far before you feel your stretch. You're looking for that stretch along the inner thigh or the inner hamstring. If you want to go deeper, once you find that stretch with a long spine, then you're welcome to round down and come all the way over. You can lay all the way down. I don't generally use a stopwatch or look at my watch to count to 30 seconds. If you're someone that really likes numbers and likes to keep track of things, then I would suggest counting how many long breaths, long deep breaths it takes you to get to that 30-second mark, whether it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. And then instead of focusing on counting the time, just focus on your breath so it becomes a little bit more meditative and relaxed. We're going to roll up through the spine, and we're going to come into a side stretch now. You're going to take your hand on the side of your stretched out leg. You're going to bring the hand either on top of the thigh, or for a little deeper stretch, you're going to come right in front of that thigh. You're going to take your opposite hand onto your hip. This one takes a little coordination. From here, you're going to twist open towards the ceiling, and then you're going to begin to slide your hand down until you get a stretch on the side here. You don't want any back pain. Make sure your tummy is really drawn in. If you need a deeper stretch, you're going to let the elbow come down, and you're going to continue to twist open. So you're reaching long through both sides of the body. And breathe. In through the nose, out through nose or mouth. A lot of us hold tension to our sides as well as the hips and legs and glutes. If we don't walk around and sit with perfect posture and we let our weight sink into our waist, the sides can get tight. Or if we tend to stand with more weight on one leg and stick a hip out, you'll probably have one side a lot tighter than the other. Okay, then inhale, we're going to draw up nice and tall. We're going to come into modified split. This one is a little tricky to get into. I like to bring the leg forward. Just kind of walk it forward and get it out of your way. You're going to rotate and reposition up and over. So your back knee and the top of your foot will be down, legs straight, and you're going to walk this front foot around. I want you to look for a stretch in the front of the hip. So this is really similar to pigeon in yoga, but pigeon in yoga, we're looking more for your piriformis, which we've already stretched a little bit. It's okay if you get this in the bent side hip, that's fine. It's like a bonus stretch, that's great. But I want you to get it in the front of this hip. So if you're not feeling it, walk your torso up a little bit more until you can get a stretch there. And then hold and breathe. Shoulders pull down, tummy's lifting up against gravity. We're almost done. We're going to come back around into that seated position we just left. So your long stretched out posture. You're going to come down onto your forearm. And then you're going to grab your pretend sneaker laces. You're going to grab the top of the foot and drop back towards your bottom. So now we're stretching out the front of the leg here, the quadricep. So the last one was to get your iliopsoas, your hip flexor. This one comes down a little bit more down the front of the thigh. You also want to make sure your knee is fairly in line with your hip. If we drop down, we're going to get a little bit of a different stretch. If we're lifting up, we're going to get a different stretch. So we're trying to get right down the center of the top of the thigh. If your foot is smashed against your bottom and you're not getting a lot of stretch, try squeezing your top cheek. Squeeze that glute and that will deepen your stretch for you. Okay, we're going to release the hand, let the foot come all the way around to the opposite side. You're going to sit, both sit bones firmly down into the mat, and then come up nice and tall through the body, and you're going to pull the knee in. So if you don't have a real good stretch here, you might want to come into a little bit of a deeper hook and add a little bit of rotation, but you want to stay lifted. You want to keep drawing the tummy in. You want to keep your sit bones down. And breathe. So this should be in your hip. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. The hips are large joints, and as we age, we just hold a lot of tension there. And unlocking that will give you a lot of freedom in your body. Okay, box stretch. You're going to take this bottom leg, scoot it out so that it would be parallel with the long edge of your mat if you were on a yoga mat or an exercise mat doing these. And then you're going to stack your knees and your ankles. You do your best. So it often doesn't start out looking like this. It often starts out looking kind of like this. If you have pain or knee pain, then feel free to get blankets or bolsters or pillows to stack up and support so that you're able to release and relax the muscles. This one gets fairly intense. It's also going to get into the rotators, just gets a little more deeply. And then if you don't have a great stretch here with a tall spine, again, you're going to walk out with a long spine, and then you'll lean yourself forward if you need to. You'll come all the way down. This is also a great stretch to do if you're pregnant because your belly has somewhere to go. You've made a hole, and when you get into the later stages of pregnancy, it's not always recommended to lie on your back to do that other figure 4 stretch. And with the pelvis changing during pregnancy, it's really important to stretch these muscles. So this is one that's great during pregnancy. Okay, so after you stretch here for your 30 seconds or 4 or 5 long deep breaths, you'll draw the tummy in. You're going to roll up nice and tall, and then the last exercise, you're going to take this top leg and you're going to stack your knees. So from here, you're going to make sure your feet are not stuck underneath your hips, okay? You want to walk them out and then try to get your sit bones down. Again, it may not look like this in the beginning. It will with time. It'll open. So if your knee is up, you do your best. If you need to support it, if your hip is up, that's okay. You work on bringing it down with time. Just don't force anything or cause pain. So from here, you have some choices. You can sit nice and tall. You can fold forward. You can bring your hands out in front of you onto the floor or onto a mat. I kind of like to hold my feet when I do this and come forward. You can round down into it if you'd like. This one feels really good. And breathe. And then with a tight tummy, you're going to roll up nice and tall. And then you would take this, tuck it behind, and start with your cross-legged, easy cross-legged pose on the other side and go through the whole series. Again, it's a great routine. You can do it daily. You're not going to overstretch yourself as long as you listen to your body and honor that you don't work into a range of pain. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at amandascorner, CORENER, @charter.net. And thanks so much for joining me.